10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome back to the Jimmie Oakman Total Takeover of Rising Coaches, coming to you live from Birmingham, Alabama. I'm Adam Gordon. Jimmie Oakman is in Brooklyn. Brooklyn's in the house. I don't know if you're in Brooklyn. Are you in Brooklyn or Long Island?
No, I'm not in Brooklyn, but we can just say that. I'll be in Brooklyn tonight. So
Brooklyn's in the house. Let's go with it. We appreciate you tuning in. Welcome back. This is day 5. This is the last day, Jimmie. Last day of the week. It's been fun.
Hey, last day is the best day. You know, we upgraded. We both got our mics here today, so
Yes.
This will be a good show. We'll wrap up on a high note.
Absolutely. And yeah, I'm gonna miss you, man. I may just call you tomorrow just to check in at same time, same place. Jimmie, what's up, man?
You know, people are gonna be happy on Monday when they have to deal with me going to social media anymore. So,
No, it's been fun, Jimmie, and we appreciate you guys tuning in. The feedback has been great. Lots to cover today. As always, we'll be joined by special guest Trey Meyer of Battleground Academy here shortly, and looking forward to that conversation. Last night, Jimmie, was day 2 of the Next Up head coach training initiative. It was really good. Really good.
I actually got some feedback from some people so it was pretty cool. I kind of dove in there a little bit to find out what was going on, and I heard it was awesome too. So before you even get into it, I was excited for that.
Yeah, I'm curious. So just so the listeners know what this is something we do through our DEI Alliance, and that is made up of 12 different organizations, and they each nominate 2 people to participate. We narrow it down to 12 finalists, and they do an interview with Herb Courtney of Renaissance Search and Consulting. He gives them a school to prepare for that's like a realistic potential job opportunity, you know, based on your region. So like if it was Jimmie, Massachusetts guy, it might be UMass Lowell. And so, I mean, Herb goes all out. He's like, this is who's in the meeting, the president, the head of, and he's got their names and everything, bios. And so you got to prepare like it's a real interview. And yeah, last night was day 2 of 3. 4 through 8 went last night, and it was really good. I'm curious, like who you talked to.
Yeah, no, I don't spill the beans. I'm just gonna, you know, I got inside sources, and I was trying to get feedback too. What anything surprised people, or you know, what do you think you did well, didn't do well, something catch you off guard, or anything like that? And I think it was pretty much the same answers across the board. And I think everybody struggles with interviewing. I think, you know, you can't be perfect. I think you just got to be you. And I think that's what, you know, the most important thing is throughout the process is you're conveying who you are and showing your personality.
No doubt. And so night 1, we had Kevin Sutton of Florida Gulf Coast. We had Greg Gottlieb of Grand Canyon. Let's see. We had Jesse Pruitt of Stanford. And who else did we have night 1? I'm missing somebody.
Corey Irvin, I remember.
Who?
Corey Irvin.
She was she not last night? She was last night, I think. No, you're right. She was night 1. She was night 1. Yeah. You're right. Corey Irvin of Illinois. It all blends together, and they were great. And then last night we had Hannah Hayden of Moberly Area College. We had Marcus King from Siena, Jamal Brown from Norfolk State, and Ashley Davis of Arizona. And it was really good. Really, really good. Everybody, you know, there's certain ones that stand out and were just like phenomenal. And even the ones that, you know, weren't as polished, like it's such a great learning exercise for them. You know, it's so good. It's so hard to get these reps, you know, especially where it's simulated that realistically. And not only are you getting the reps, but you're getting a chance to really get to know Herb Courtney, who's, you know, one of the major decision makers in college basketball. He did couple searches for Vanderbilt last year. He did the Long Beach State search. He did the Loyola Marymount search. And so, you know, it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, that's, you know, that experience you can't replicate no matter, you know, unless you got the inside track with the search firm or your agent can really set you up. That's impossible. So
absolutely. And in fact, it's been so useful and the feedback's been so good that it's probably something we're going to look to offer in the off season. Just as like a one-off a la carte thing. If somebody wants a mock interview, we will probably move towards offering that on our website. You can sign up and we'll put you through the ringer. For obviously, that'll be something a service we'll charge for, and as always, there will be a member discount. But it's just it's so clear that it's like such a needed thing that
you can't even really put a price tag on that. Like the value that you get for it, it's just like.
Well, we will put a price tag on it.
No, I mean, I'm saying you can run that up as high as possible, just because for the mere fact that you can't really get that anywhere. It's such like an exclusive thing that that the connection to that world is just kind of untapped, and there's people signing up trying to do that now. So that's a big time.
No doubt. So day 3, the final day of Next Up is Monday, October 11th, and also on Monday, October 11th. Is the Science of Basketball virtual conference that we're putting together. And it is amazing. The lineup, the topics are all first class. Shout out to Brandon Rosenthal and Andy Farrell for putting that together. They have come up with some very pointed topics, how to incorporate analytics into your offense, the future of technology in basketball, building a strength program, player development program, the art of shooting. And we've gotten these unbelievable experts, some of the most forward-thinking people in the world in all of sports, PhDs, people who have been in it for years and years at the highest level, coming next week to talk about it. We've got over 400 people signed up now. It's going to be a great event. And listen, it's free. It's free for members. And if you're not a member and you want to check it out, we're offering a free trial membership so you can enjoy the conference on us. We're going to try to convince you to stick around with Rising Coaches throughout the year, but you can cancel at any time without being charged. Head to risingcoaches.com for all the info to sign up and all of that. Shout out David Choi chiming in. He's pumped up. He's fired up for next week. What up, David? Always good to hear from you, man. Poll question of the day, Jimmy. This is a good one. We've gotten a ton of feedback already this morning on social media. What is your favorite team building activity? So, like I said, we've gotten a ton of feedback. I'm going to run through a couple things we've seen here. A lot of people have chimed in with winning. Winning is their favorite team building activity.
Yeah.
All right, very good, very clever. And honestly, nothing brings a team together like a W, right?
No. That's winning cures everything, and there's no secret to that.
No doubt, but not really a team building activity that you can just schedule. Right. Well, right. You can schedule a win, I guess, at college and high school level. Maybe not in the pros, but
yeah, that's tricky.
Coach Mo Boykins chiming in. She's been really active this week. We appreciate you, Coach Mo. Never can go wrong with dinner, especially potlucks. You get to find out who can't cook. Girls usually get good humor out of it. That's a great idea. I've never done a potluck with our team, but I would imagine that would be a lot of fun. What do you think, Jimmy? Have you ever done that?
I mean, with thinking about some of the guys we've had, I know they can't cook, so you might need a backup plan for a lot of it, unless you can, try to swindle some other people that that can cook to pick up the slack a little bit, because you don't need to be leaving the entree to somebody that's going to burn something. That's just you don't want to do that.
Well, someone's going to come in with like McDonald's, and someone's going to come in with Chick-fil-A, and that's okay. What would you be going if I told you we've got potluck tonight? What are you going to whip up for us?
Oh man, I'm probably just going to cook up a bunch of chicken, just because I only care about their health and their nutrition more than I do about making them happy about what the hell they're eating. At least give them a healthy alternative, some grilled chicken.
Straight protein. I love it. Coach K21, team dinners, summer team camps, and wiffle ball. Love wiffle ball. You can't go wrong with wiffle ball. I agree wholeheartedly with that. Yep. Let's see. Jake Cates, 45, practice. Spoken like a true coach.
Yes.
Dab me up, coach. Dodgeball.
Yes.
Jim's a fan. Dodgeball, Jim?
Yes, we've done that. Yes. At the pro level, we've done it. Yes.
I love it. Tori Lewis, T-Lou, 1915, coming straight from Atlanta. What's up, Tori? Community service projects. Okay, on a real note, those are, I 100% agree. Wiffle ball is great. All the fun stuff is great. Ice cream. But when you actually go out into the community and do something, visit a children's hospital, go build a house with Habitat for Humanity, something like that touches everyone's heart, that is where you actually make real connection and bonds, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've done Habitat for Humanity on my own, and it's really gratifying just doing something like that. And I think players, are going to push back no matter what community service event it is, whether it's fun or not. And then they get there, and then it kind of just changes their scope, and it creates such a great atmosphere that they enjoyed it and they want to do it on their own. So that might be the best for me.
Well, it creates gratitude too. I mean, you can't do that and then not feel blessed by your own situation. And then it puts things in perspective, right? Like maybe you went into the day bitching about, your role or playing time or just having to practice. And then you leave after doing something for others that are less fortunate. And you're like, wow, I really do need to take advantage of what I've got. So great answer, Coach Lewis.
I think along the same lines, like, I think you got to show the human element of the coach too. So take yourself out of the equation and be a part of it and just be a regular person, and don't have them think of you as a coach. Just being a regular person and being vulnerable in the moment is important for your players to see that side of you too. So, and that brings it out of you.
Absolutely. All right, let's dive. I'm going to save some of these responses for a little later when we're joined by our guest, Trey Meyer. But talk to us about team building. What's your favorite team building activity, Jimmie, or what is your philosophy on building chemistry?
I think chemistry and culture, they can kind of go hand in hand, but they're different. I think you got to use it to try to build some equity with your players. Like you go into a long film session and, they're struggling. They don't want to be there. They don't want to listen to you anymore. And then they're thinking you have a practice upcoming. And then you go up to the practice floor and all of a sudden you're playing dodgeball, right? And so then it just, the player's like, all right, cool. We did have this 30-minute film session that was miserable. We sat through it. And then they're thinking they got to go through this practice. And then all of a sudden you go up there and you still accomplish something in the film room. And then you go up there and kind of take them by surprise. I don't think that builds culture necessarily, but I think you do kind of earn some equity with the players that allows you to maybe the next time you have a long film session to get a little bit more of a buy-in. And so I think it's a long play, but dodgeball is fun, wiffle ball is fun. But honestly, I think the community service ideas, I think that takes the cake for me.
Yeah, great points. And I love how you phrase it, creating equity with your players. That is such a great way to put it, because look, I've been a part of great teams that have done all the team building stuff. And I've been a part of terrible teams that have done all the team building stuff, and it's all great. Everyone feels good in the preseason, but you get into it and that stuff, how much does that really carry over and matter? Now, I will say this. I don't think I've been a part of a great team that has never done any team building. Have you? Have you ever just been a collection of dudes put together and all you guys have done is straight basketball and had it work?
I don't think so. We have events at this level all the time too. And what we try, I definitely don't force players to do stuff because you don't want to make them uncomfortable. You want them to enjoy the experience. You start to notice some players that enjoy being out in the community and the public and doing certain events. And then you try to have them pull other people that they're close with on the team to try to, pull them along. And so I think it creates greater relationships internally with the players. And I think that's really what you want. So you're trying to find your leaders that are willing to do that stuff and kind of pull people in that same direction. And I think that creates, accountability on and off the floor. And I think, they gain equity with each other, and that's just as important.
I love what you talk about too, with the psyching them out, making them think they got a hard practice, and then you show up and you put them on the line and you're like, let's go get ice cream.
Yeah, anything. Yeah.
That is the best. There's really no, every time, 10 out of 10 times, your team's going to be hyped. Let's go.
Yeah. You bust up the wiffle ball bat, and then they're like, all right, cool. You get to see them have absolutely no skill in any other sports. And, nowadays there's not much crossover. So basketball guys can't throw a baseball, or, you just get to see who's actually an athlete.
Yeah, I actually really enjoy, I know a lot of coaches worry about their team getting hurt, but I really enjoy playing other sports, especially in the summer. It's a great summer thing. If you're going to, especially in college now, you can work out year round, which is absolute insanity to me. But, if you're going 4 or 5 days a week, on that 5th day, go out to the field, play some football, play some flag football, play kickball. Like you said, you get to see who really is just an athlete. You get to see who really loves to compete. It's fun, and it's fun. The guys enjoy it, right?
Yeah, and that's especially if you're in the college world or even high school or whatever. If you can put your team against another team doing something else that neither one are great at. You know what I mean? Like baseball versus basketball team doing something, or even like a softball team versus the guys doing something. Like, you can find things that, both teams might not be good at, but it's going to be fun and competitive. Where you mix match the teams, and it's good for everybody.
Yeah, and we're about to bring in our guest Trey Meyer here in just a second, and as I do that, as I navigate these buttons on my computer screen, I'll tell you an activity that I've heard that I kind of liked. I think this was a Jim Cruz thing, if I remember correctly. Chris Hollander may be telling me the story, taking the team out to the golf range, and very few guys had any experience playing golf, and they got a golf pro out there, and they actually gave them some pointers. And I bet that was a cool experience, just seeing these guys try to tackle a completely new sport. I don't know how much that translates into actually trying to win ball games with your team in the season, but I do think it's an interesting exercise.
We did it at Summer League. We took our team out at Summer League to Top Golf too, so that was fun. But
Top Golf is always the correct answer. Yeah. It's never wrong. We are joined now by head coach of Battleground Academy, Trey Meyer. Trey, good morning, man. How are you?
Good morning, Adam. Hey, Jimmy. How y'all doing?
Good, man.
Trey, congratulations on the new job. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, can y'all hear me clearly?
Yes. No, we can't hear you. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we're good, man. We're live on the air. Appreciate you joining us. Congrats on the new job, Trey. How long has it been that you've been at Battleground now?
Thank you. I've been here since the beginning of June, so it feels like a couple months. So
couple months, we've been ripping and running.
Well,
we're going to get into Battleground in a little bit, but the poll question of the day today is, what is your favorite team building activity? And we've had a lot of heated debates on social media. Jimmie and I have just been discussing. So before we get into anything with you and your career, and before we want to hear anything from you on your philosophies, we got to know, what is your favorite team building activity?
Well, first I'll say I heard the golf comments, and I think that's more of a hidden agenda for the coaching staff. Personal on that one, because I love golf, but for me, by far, it's paintball. I mean, for me, it's not even close. Paintball number one, because a number of reasons, but if you don't communicate where you are and cover each other in that game, I mean, you just get lit up, and there's no better way, to suffer than to just get a paintball right to the neck,
I love it. That was, as I was preparing for today's show, that was one of my answers that I was thinking about saying. I have to share this story. When I was at SEMO, we had a young man I recruited, Oscar Cao from Taiwan, and Oscar was a very such a charismatic kid, spoke very little English, but just everybody loved him on campus, and just he has this electric personality. And in Taiwan, he's this celebrity, he's got millions of followers, people literally line up to get his autograph. And then in America, nobody knows who he is, but he just has this charisma. Anyways, we go to paintball with the team. And, most paintball, sometimes a paintball is just every man for himself, shoot each other. But a lot of times it's capture the flag, right? So we line up, we all get set up. I think we played one game and everyone shot each other, whatever. We had fun. And then we get to the next course and everyone spreads out. And the referee's okay, capture the flag, blows the whistle. Okay, Oscar had thrown his gun into the bushes, and as soon as the referee said go, just sprinted to the flag, grabbed it, took it back to his team. It was a 15-second game of paintball. Won the game in 15 seconds. Didn't get hit or anything. It was like a ninja. It was amazing.
That's amazing.
I've always thought about it when I play paintball, but I don't have the balls to go in without a gun.
Yeah, I mean, that's a brilliant move or a suicide mission. I wonder if he had played before and knew what he was doing, because I'm sure everybody was going to try to get to a bunker or whatever while he's getting the flag.
Exactly. Oh, he knew exactly what he was doing. He's a smart little fucker.
Incredibly smart, incredibly stupid. Either way, one of the two.
It worked out, and we were all in awe. But yeah, paintball is great. A couple others that we've seen here on social media, bowling. How do you guys feel about bowling?
Yes. We're doing it this year, so yes.
I'm a terrible bowler, so I personally don't like it. But yes, I do agree. Everyone seems to enjoy that one. Boot camp. Do you guys do a boot camp where you're at? Trey, have you guys done a boot camp there at Battleground Academy?
No, we have not, and we probably won't. But it does sound like a fun idea. When I was at Miami, Ohio, Coop took us out into the woods, and we did a little camping thing, 2 or 3 day night deal where we stayed out there and did a bunch of stuff. And favorite thing that guys did out there was just play football, 2-hand touch football in a big open field. So that was a fun one.
Absolutely. Jimmie, have you guys done any boot camps in your tenure?
No, I've never done it. I mean, you've seen all the videos on social media from teams doing it and stuff like that. I think it's good. I think it, kind of gets them hyped up around each other. I don't think it's definitely the best way to condition, get your guys ready for the season. But I think it, they get to know each other and, compete with each other. I think, camaraderie is huge too, but it's not the ideal way to get in better shape either. So.
The final one that I'll share with you guys, this is a PJ Fleck thing. I think that's his name, right? The head coach at Minnesota, football coach, who is obviously like Mr. Team Building, Mr. Chemistry, row the boats, all of it. And, take it or leave it, whatever. I like that stuff. Not everybody does. It's fine. But one thing that we stole from him that I really liked was tattoo story time. And it wasn't like a big preseason thing. It was just to open every single meeting. And, football teams meet all the time. At the beginning of each meeting, and they got like 1,000 people on their team, they would select somebody from the team, and you had to go up there and tell a story about one of your tattoos, which is a great exercise. And, like you do learn like something about all these guys and things you wouldn't expect. And some people, get real deep and they tell you about, this one's for this relative that passed, and other people are, very like, nonchalant about it or don't go as deep, but it's fine. And it's a good way to get guys up there. Trey, percentage of your guys at Battleground that are tatted up?
Man, I would say, I don't know, 2 or 3%. Some of them I probably don't even know, but I mean, I can't even really. There might be 1 or 2 guys, maybe.
Jimmie, percentage of your team that's tatted up?
It's got to be over 90. Over 90 might have like 10. So the ones that do have a ton. So.
Well, maybe we won't see tattoo story time in Battleground Academy this year, but I will imagine we'll see.
I won't do that.
What will we see, Trey? Tell us about the transition, man. We're excited for you. You spent years grinding as a college assistant at every level and every role, and decided to take this head job here at Battleground Academy, which is an unbelievable setup, by the way. I had a chance to see it earlier this summer. Tell us about the transition. Tell us, first of all, let's start with this. Tell us about the decision to go and take this job and run this program.
Yep. Well, I always came back to the first year I really coached was when I was in college at Clemson with you, Adam, and I coached AAU basketball. And that was the first time I was ever the head coach of a group of guys. And, even playing in the Wallace Prather Invitational in Atlanta or going over to random places, the idea of being a head coach of a team, that was the funnest year I had in coaching. And I looked back as I went through my career and trying to work my way up and this and that. And I just got to a certain point in the last few years where I just really wanted to be a head coach, and I didn't care where. I mean, I interviewed at Division II jobs. I tried to get involved in Division III, NAIA. I mean, I would get involved anywhere that I could. And, I just kept striking out. It's really hard to get a head coaching job, but I just wanted to be a head coach, and then fortunately I got involved up here, and there was a kind of a 3-level interview process here, and it was hard as heck. And I know if I was going to be able to get it and end up getting it, obviously it's a great school. It's beautiful. It's almost set up like a small college. The resources are great. I just feel really fortunate to be here, but it just came back to going through being an assistant for so long, recruiting, and eventually just wanting to, hey, can I be a good head coach? If I'm a good head coach, I'll be able to do it anywhere. I didn't think I was going to be one of those guys that I'm going to go ahead and get this job that's teed up. It's already rolling. Everybody wants it. I'm going to get it. I'm going to keep it rolling. And I've never been that kind of guy. I just want to go take something that people don't think maybe they can be very good and just kind of turn it into something. So this was kind of that opportunity for me. So I'm fired up about it. And I don't care, going college to high school, do some laundry. I've never worried about that stuff. Being a student manager, you do it all. So I don't care about that. Just the idea.
Once manager, Yeah, once a manager, always a manager.
Yeah, for sure.
I know and obviously our situations are different, but when I made the decision to leave college basketball, there was a lot of fear on my part because of all the years I had put into it. And Jimmie can probably relate too, because he left college as well. I put so many years into it. I'd gotten to a certain point in my career, and I felt like, man, if I leave and do something else, will I ever get to come back? Did that go through your head, Trey, at all?
Absolutely, the entire time. And I asked some people I was close with about that. And it's funny though, I had asked Dana Ford at Missouri State, that same question. He said, man, this whole profession is changing by the day. He said high school coaches now are advancing quicker than guys that have been in college for 10 years. He's like, unfortunately, if you have a few good players, then you have a way of advancing up quicker than where you were before. And then my boss at Presbyterian, who's a great friend of mine I grew up with, he's like, hey man, listen, I'll hire you back next year, so don't worry about that at all. So hearing some of those people and then talking to John Cooper about it a good bit, hearing those people say those things, it kind of eased my mind a little bit. But I did think, golly, I've been doing this for 12 years, maybe I'm really close and I don't even know it. But eventually it's like, hey, it's my life. Like, I want to do this. Like, I'm going to go do this. I want to be a head coach. Whatever happens, happens. I can't go back. I've got my family, which is more important to me than my job anyway. So, if I'm taking care of my family, I'm being able to be there with my 3 little girls and my wife. I get to be a head coach. Shoot, this may be the best for me, and I may be here forever. So I don't know.
I'd be curious to see what you guys thought, like the decision-making process to make that jump. And it was terrifying for me to make the decision. Yeah, but when I made the decision, it was the most exhilarating feeling in the world in that process. I would love to hear what you guys have to say, because that's what it was for me.
I felt that, Jimmie, like a weekend, it was like once I got here, and I don't know for you if it was maybe the first practice or just being around the guys or whatever, but like once I got to go out here and run a practice, man, I was all set. Like, I was good. I already knew the area. I knew it was a good job. I knew I was going to be able to take care of my family. But once I get out there and start coaching guys and I have it like a team, I was done.
Yeah, I had a similar, like, it felt like a kid, like on the first day of summer, like when I, like there was so much tension leading up to the decision. Then I made the decision and I told people, and it was like, yes. And the first thing I did, I unfollowed verbal commits. I was like, I don't care if any of you guys are going to school. Leave me alone. And it was awesome. And then reality set in a couple months later. I was like, oh, this shit's hard. Maybe the grass isn't greener, but I haven't regretted it. I've loved it. But yes, I can totally relate to that fear and then the exhilaration.
Yeah, and Jimmie, I don't know about you, but I had a bunch of people reach out to me afterwards and like say, hey, why'd you do this? Tell me about it. Boom. You know what I mean? Like, I had a lot of people ask about it. I think there's so many people like that out, especially in college basketball, that just feel like, this is kind of my identity now. And like, I don't want to leave it, and I'm scared to leave it. And I don't know. And sometimes I think people don't know about other jobs, like really what they entail. Like this job I'm at now, I feel like it's better than a lot of smaller college basketball places that I've been at, just from resources, support, all kind of stuff.
I think it's always like, it's amazing to me. Like, you're just going to, at some point, you got to bet on yourself. And, regardless if you want to get back to where you were, like the status wise, division, like people will get so enamored by Division I or levels or being like perceived, and they don't want the knock on the outside world. Like, I think we're always trying to grow as coaches. And I think if you want to be in this long term, it doesn't really matter where you're at your level when you're 35, 30, 25. Like, none of that matters until you're 60 years old. Like, how great of a coach are you? If that's the end game for you, who cares where you were one stop along the way that you didn't grow?
For sure. Yeah. And I always thought back to when I was an assistant, like, what am I? Obviously, you study the game, you go to clinics, you do all this stuff. But as far as like in-game coaching and all the decisions you have to make as a head coach, I mean, really, assistant coaches are so unprepared for that. It's a joke. Yes. I mean, it's a joke, really. I mean, you're living for that scrimmage in practice that I get the blue team, you get the gold team, we get to coach each other. You're living for that. And it's like 5 or 6 times a year. That's your preparation. Yeah, to be an in-game college head coach, that makes no sense to me. It really doesn't,
Yeah, that's a great point. Tell us a little bit about like what surprised you so far, Trey? Give us something that you didn't expect that's really kind of surprised you here in these few months, or something that you've just loved about it.
That's a great question. I mean, the love part's easy because that's just the everyday battle, grind, whatever words you want to use, of kind of like creating like your identity for the program you're leading. You know what I mean? Because like every day I get a chance to kind of create who we are, So for me, when I got here, the team was, just had a really bad year last year. It wasn't very good. And I figured out about a weekend exactly who we had to be. And that was gritty, tough, physical, scrappy. So that was who we got to be to win. And naturally, I love the underdog role. I get fired up pretty quickly. That's just kind of me. So every day I'm like fighting for us to be that, and to me, I love that, I love that. So the whole summer, like when I got here, we had 4 practices, then we just play games. So I didn't have time to put in all these cute little plays that I've studied for 10 years that I said I wanted to run when I got the job. Literally, I had to say, okay, we're going to play hard. We'll try to play smart. We'll try to play together. Obviously, Adam, that was Oliver Purnell at Clemson. But just going to try to do those 3 things. And if any point in time we're not playing hard and we're not being who we say we're going to be, I'm just going to call a timeout. I'm going to say, hey, guys, this is who we got to be. We're not that right now. Like, we got to get this thing turned around a little bit. So I just focused on that. So being able to kind of create that identity is something I love every single day. So,
well, I love that you use the word create because I can really relate to that. As a head coach, you really get to tap into your creativity, and you really get to. It's almost like artistic. Like you get to like create the whole picture. Where you're an assistant, you're still painting, but you're painting someone else's picture. And like some people love that and do that for their whole career, and that's awesome. And I would imagine if you're a part of, if you're part of a great program, if you're helping paint this masterpiece, that's probably really rewarding as well. But sometimes you're painting, your job is to help paint this picture and you don't even like the picture. And it's like, that's kind of that was my experience. Like I wanted to go do my own thing. I wanted to try. I didn't know if I was going to be good at it or not, but I wanted to try to do my own thing and see how it worked. And so I love that. I don't think we talk about that enough, the creativity that goes into like coaching and how like, I don't know, is just being an assistant, you don't really get to exercise those muscles as much.
I was talking with a friend last. Oh, sorry, Trey, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Jimmy. I'll go after you.
I was talking with a coaching friend last night, just talking about the differences of college and specifically the G League, not the NBA. And the way I look at like the G League, it's much more of a democracy. Like the head coach is, putting a number on it, like is responsible for 40% of the team. I don't know what number, but if you look at college coaching, Division I in specific, that head coach probably has control of 98% of what goes on in that program. And you can only really just kind of go with the flow. And it's been rewarding for me to kind of be, with other guys that have much more imprint on the program of everything you do. And, it's probably the closest I've ever seen to being a head coach of how much power you're able to have. And the Division I game, there's no development for that. Like there's nothing for assistants to become head coaches and get those reps. And so ADs, when they hire people, it's almost like you're kind of banking on the fact that they've learned it and, learned by osmosis, and hopefully that they can replicate the success they've had. And generally it doesn't really work that way.
Yep. No, I agree. It's just so easy to get kind of stale in college basketball, and everybody starts doing the same thing and the same drills and practices the same way. And I got tired of that too. I mean, I love, like you said, creativity. Like I love the creativity of, are we going to do all this conditioning right now or are we not? Are we just going to play a lot of pickup and design it in a way that it's really fast paced? Like that's what I'm doing right now. I just told my guys straight up, hey, we're not going to go out here and run suicides. We're not running 17s. I'm not going to run you 10 miles. We're going to play full court basketball. The ball hits the floor. It's going to be the other team. The other team gets the ball back, and first guy that gets the ball out of the net, they can get to it, just go ahead and get it out of the net. So we're just trying to play really fast right now, and that's kind of our conditioning. So, And obviously, I would never get that decision if I was still in college, and like doing 800 closeout drills, like that drove me crazy, like crazy. You know what I mean? I think you teach a closeout one time and you got one drill, and if the kid doesn't want to do it, like he's not going to do everything else anyways. So like I get tired of that stuff. So for me, like and maybe this stuff doesn't work. We're going to find out, and I'm going to have fun doing it. I promise you that.
That's the beauty of it all.
We talked in depth about the closeout drills yesterday. We're all on the same page there.
Yeah,
Goodness gracious. Vegas closeout, Chicago closeout, Brooklyn closeout. Golly. I mean, how many of them are there?
I know.
We're just going to play one-on-one.
Like,
go ahead.
Yeah, make them play one-on-one. That's how you work on closeouts. Make them guard somebody. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And some people are all for the closeout drills, and that's cool. If that works for you, more power to you. But me personally, I get bored sitting there. Come on. Get your hands up.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
Call
it's just like now. Yeah, and I feel like I'm on a tangent now, but now it's, got to go to the weight room, got to watch the guys lift, good job, keep pushing. And I'm just saying stuff. It just, it's terrible.
Oh, God. PTSD. Thank God. Oh, my.
Trey, you talked about you get to be creative and make those decisions. A lot of people talk about when they get into that head coaching role for the first time, the amount of decisions you have to make gets overwhelming. Have you had that experience, or just what in general has stressed you out? What's been difficult so far?
I mean, I think it's all difficult because it's all new to me. Hold on one second.
Head coach making decisions right on the fly.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the admissions office. I work in admissions, but that's the second time I've silenced them, so I can't wait till we get done. But go back. Oh, so everything's difficult because of all the many decisions and the decisions you're unprepared for. What was the other part of your question, Adam? Sorry, I got distracted.
Have you been overwhelmed by the amount of decisions you have to make?
I mean, I'm going to say yeah, but I don't feel like super overwhelmed because I've tried to focus on, I don't know if y'all seen that thing Kirby Smart has in Georgia's locker room. I think it says win, what's important now, like that acronym. I tried to really just try to focus on that. You know what I mean? Because there's so many decisions you have to make, and, the jerseys, the bus, the emails, like all that stuff. Like I just pretty much said when I started, I'm going to suck at that stuff, and I'm just going to be lost in trying to get the guys better, have some organization, create our identity. And I'm just going to do all that stuff and just lock in on basketball with our team. And, we probably won't have everybody have matching practice uniforms on November 1st, but I don't care, So I'm just going to try to really focus on what's really important and not do all the other garbage, and try to pick that stuff up along the way. And maybe that's a bad idea, but it's kind of helped my brain, just stay focused. So.
Yeah, I love that. What can if we go check out, if we're in Franklin, Tennessee and wander into the gym at a Battleground Academy game, what can we expect to see on the floor?
Well, I have told every coach that's coaching and our guys that I don't care. Well, I shouldn't say I don't care. I don't like losing just like everybody else. But if we're going to lose, I want to lose a certain way. And so when people show up and they go see Battleground Academy play, they better see effort. They better see togetherness. They better see people that dive on the floor for loose balls. They better see 5 guys go get the guy. They better see energy on the bench. They better feel like, hey, that team right there, they gave everything they had while they were on the floor, and whether they win or lose. So that's kind of been my main thing with them. It's just it's more how we play the game than what happens in the game. So we'll see how it works, but that's what I'm rolling with this year. So, if there's a good player out here in the school and you don't play hard, I'm not going to play him a lot. So, and I'm just going to roll with that. So if they want to run me out of here, they can run me out of here, but we're going to go out there and just go balls to the wall and get after it and support each other. So that's just the way I think people enjoy playing the game. And for people that like to watch the game, that's what I like to watch. So
how are you reinforcing that style of play every day? Is it just simply on what you emphasize, or do you have some sort of hustle chart? Is there some sort of reward system for diving on the floor?
Nah, don't have any of that, and don't have a bunch of stuff on the wall. Don't got all these phrases. Don't got the pyramid of success. Don't got none of that. Just literally
shots fired at John Wooden.
Yeah, playing really fast. Well, there was somebody that had something in the locker room and had like 48 words on it, like love, joy, passion, and they're good. They're good, but like if you don't have those things, you really shouldn't walk in the door. You know what I mean? That's just the way I believe it. But I got distracted again. Where were we at?
I was just asking how you enforce your style of play on a daily basis.
Effort and togetherness. Now, a loose ball, that one's easy. You know what I mean? You either dive or you don't. The guy goes on the floor, you either run over there or you don't. Like yesterday, we had open gym, and we had a kid dive on the floor, and nobody went and got him. So I hope the TSSA ain't watching me, but I saw it happen, and I just said, "Hey guys, stop!" I said, "Hey, when this guy dives on the floor, this is how you do it." And I just ran over there and picked him up. So we set it back up. Boom, we do it. 4 guys go over there. 1 guy just kind of walks. So I'm like, all right, I don't know if you're talking to his girlfriend or not, but I need you to go over there and pick him up. So we do it again. And then all 5 run over there and do it. So, I think it's pretty easy. The pace of play. So I'm just trying to get guys to sprint the floor and fill corners and wings on offense. And we always talk about first 3 steps, defensive transition, same thing, y'all know. So it's just, are you running the floor? And I don't coach shot selection in the preseason at all. I don't get on to them about any of that stuff. So they're just playing really freely, and I'm just making sure we're sprinting hard. And, if somebody goes on the floor, we better pick them up. So I'm just kind of doing it by the eye test. So maybe it works, maybe it doesn't.
I love it. We'll check back in with you mid-season and postseason and see how we're doing. But I love it. The thing that stands out, Trey, is like how convicted you are in like who you guys are going to be. Because I think a lot of times when people get that first job, it's just so much and you try to do it all. And I love how like simple you are. Like, this is what we're going to do. If we're going to lose this way. I think that's the mark of every great program is they have that clear identity.
Yeah. And Don Meyer, we said you want to find, you want to have guys that you're okay losing with. Like, I've always loved that quote. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, no, we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I really appreciate y'all having me on. Sorry if I got off on a little tangent there, but I enjoyed it.
No, we brought you on to get on your soapbox. So we appreciate you joining us, Trey. Thanks for being with us. I've got a helicopter going by my window here at the moment. I apologize.
Are you New York City or am I? I was kind of confused. I was like, that's a New York City thing.
I think it was a lawnmower. But Trey, we appreciate you, man. Best of luck this season, and we'll be keeping up with Battleground Academy.
Yep. Thanks, Adam. Good seeing you, Jimmy.
You too, Trey, man. Good luck.
All right, that was Trey Meyer, Battleground Academy. You're watching live the Takeover with Jimmie Oakman. We're wrapping it up. Jimmy, it's been a fun week. Do we want to wrap up with like lessons learned or highlights of the week?
Oh man, I've appreciated being on here. This is not easy, and I give you a lot of credit because you're great at this, and I'm just been along for the ride. So I appreciate you having me. We're getting ready to get to the thick of the season. We have a preseason game tonight, so I'm excited as we kind of inch a little bit closer to the regular season with the NBA, and then the G League season kicks off, and we're kind of at this thing full speed. So I was glad we were able to kind of get this done. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we appreciate you spending your kind of sort of last week of freedom before it ramps up here for you with us and Rising Coaches. And as always, appreciate everything you do. And looking forward to seeing you next week. Science of Basketball starting October 11th through the 14th. We've got some amazing topics, some amazing panels and moderators. Go to risingcoaches.com to check out more information. It's free for members. And if you're not a member, you can get a free membership to check out the conference and enjoy it on us and then make your decision if you're going to stick around or not. So head to risingcoaches.com for all of that information. Jimmy, man, it's been a pleasure. Go Brooklyn, go Long Island. What do we say? How do we break huddles with Long Island? Is there you guys got a catchphrase or anything? Nets on 3. That's what we got.
Nets on 3. I love it. I love it. Well, Jimmie, thanks again, man. Always fun, and we'll be talking to you real soon.
Awesome. Thank you, brother.